brave, and surprising. That was the initial impression when this news emerged. Jungkook suddenly spoke seriously about a mysterious woman, and that moment made Jin unable to hold back his tears. A big question immediately echoed. Who exactly is this woman? What made Jungkook's statement so profound that his Hyung, known for being tough, finally broke down? Public speculation was unstoppable. When Jungkook, a figure who usually keeps his privacy closely guarded, suddenly opened his heart in front of those closest to him, it was only natural that the attention of the music and entertainment world was immediately drawn to him. Even more surprising, Jin's expression upon hearing Jungkook's words showed how heavy and meaningful the content of the confession was. Jin's emotional reaction was not just spontaneity, but a sign that what Jungkook said truly touched the deepest side of their friendship. Jungkook is known as an idol who is disciplined, professional, and rarely talks about his personal life in public. But this time, the way he expressed his feelings seemed different. Sources who witnessed the moment mentioned that Jungkook spoke in a serious tone, full of pauses, as if weighing every word that came out of his mouth. He did not mention a name explicitly, but his sentences hinted at a woman who had a significant impact on his life. The public wondered, is he talking about love or about someone who was present as another important figure in his life? The tension grew even more palpable when Jin, who was sitting and listening, began to show a change in expression. From a face that was initially calm, his eyes slowly became teary. Eyewitnesses revealed that Jin bowed his head several times, as if holding back his emotions. Until finally, tears actually fell, indicating that Jungkook's statement was not just light chatter. Jin cried, not only as a fellow group member, but as someone who understood the weight of the emotional journey that Jungkook was going through. The public was divided in interpreting the content of the speech. Some believe that Jungkook was conveying his longing for a certain figure who was present in the past, whether as an inspiration, family, or perhaps a love that was never revealed. Others assess that he is alluding to how difficult it is to maintain a balance between personal life and the spotlight of the entertainment world, where every interaction with a woman often becomes a sensitive spotlight. Jin, who had previously felt the pressure as a senior idol, could understand that pain. That's why he was so touched. This phenomenon also raises a broader discussion about how Korean idols are often forced to suppress their personal side in order to maintain their public image. Jungkook's simple but meaningful words seemed to open the curtain on the inner conflict of a superstar living under a media microscope. He spoke not only for himself, but also representing the voices of many artists who want to be recognized as humans with real feelings, not just public figures without personal lives. Of course, Jin's reaction reinforced the dramatization of the moment. A true friend doesn't cry for no reason. Jin's tears gave validation that what Jungkook revealed was not trivial. If a BTS member who is known to be strong and humorous can dissolve into tears, then the public can imagine how deep the message Jungkook conveyed was. The impact of that statement did not stop in their small circle. Warm discussions sprung up on social media, with various interpretations and theories from fans. Some suspect that the woman is an old figure who had a major influence before Jungkook entered the entertainment world. Others assess that the figure could just be a symbol or metaphor about the difficulties of life he faces. But regardless of speculation, one thing is clear: Jungkook's courage to speak seriously has opened an emotional conversation that is rarely seen on the glittering stage of K-pop. This moment also made the public realize that even idols of BTS's caliber are still human beings with emotional vulnerabilities. Jungkook's honesty shows maturity as well as courage, while Jin's tears remind the world that true friendship knows no stage or camera. It is real proof of how the bond between BTS members is more than just a working relationship. They're a family who support each other in even the most fragile moments. Now, the biggest question that still hangs is, will Jungkook return to discuss this topic more openly, or will he choose to let it remain a mystery? The public, of course, is thirsty for answers. But perhaps that is precisely where the strength of his statement lies. It leaves a big question mark that provokes curiosity, while also providing room for reflection for anyone who hears it in the end. This incident is not just about a mysterious woman, but about Jungkook's human side that is rarely shown, and about Jin's sincere tears that reflect the depth of their friendship. That moment will continue to be remembered, not because of the sensation, but because it opens the door for a more honest conversation about love, loss, and the meaning of brotherhood in a world full of spotlights. The incident when Jungkook spoke seriously about a woman and made JIN cry has become a conversation that ignites the curiosity of many people. However, let's stop for a moment. Are we really sure that this event is real? Or is this just part of a media narrative that is deliberately constructed to attract public attention and spark debate among fans? This question is important because in the digital age, not everything that is seen, heard, or goes viral can be considered absolute truth. It should be noted that the information circulating regarding this moment mostly comes from various social media platforms such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, to several entertainment portals. But are you aware that these media often rely on video snippets, edited narratives, or subjective interpretations to build a story? This is where a critical question arises. Are we seeing the whole fact, or just pieces that are arranged in such a way as to form a certain perception? Jin's reaction of crying, for example, does look emotional. However, was that cry really triggered by Jungkook's statement about a mysterious woman? Or was that moment cut from another context, then given a dramatic narrative to make it look more sensational? The public often only sees the end result that has been shaped by the media, not the actual complete event. Are we critical enough to realize this framing trap? We also have to consider the other side. The Korean entertainment world is known to be very strict in managing the image of artists. It is not uncommon for rumors or dramatic news to be used as a marketing strategy, whether to boost popularity, attract global media attention, or even build hype ahead of a major project. So, is it possible that this Jungkook and Jin moment is just part of a deliberately designed narrative? If so, are we as viewers willing to be used as objects of public opinion games? Let's reflect further. What is the purpose of this news being spread? Is it to reveal Jungkook's human side that is rarely seen? Or is it just to attract clicks, comments, and hot discussions that benefit the information spreading platform? This question should encourage us not only to be carried away by emotions, but also to question who actually benefits when this news goes viral. It is also important to see how fans respond. Some immediately believe and get carried away in emotions, even feeling as if they are witnessing a real personal moment. But there are also those who are skeptical, questioning the authenticity of this narrative and refusing to swallow it whole. At this point, we need to reflect. Are we critical fans or just passive consumers who are easily influenced by media drama? Let's reverse the point of view. For example, if it turns out that this event really happened, what is the impact on Jungkook's career and personal life? Does the world have the right to know about his deepest feelings just because he is a public figure? Conversely, if this is just media engineering, don't we feel betrayed because our emotions are manipulated for mere profit? These two provocative questions illustrate a major dilemma that we must realize together. In the era of information flooding, hoaxes, and sensationalism are increasingly easy to spread. Therefore, we need to emphasize the importance of a skeptical and reflective attitude. Don't rush to believe just because the news sounds emotional or viral. Don't be easily carried away just because the narrative looks dramatic.